Hello everyone, welcome back to Financial News in Palos Heights. Today being August 5th, 2019. Paul, our summer's getting away from us.
It's flying by.
I'm Ron Jankowski with Channel 4 in Palos Heights.
And I'm Paul Munichel with Ameriprise Financial. I think we'll go ahead and start talking about earnings season, and then I'll flip it back over to Ron, and he will give you some updates on current events to watch out for in the market. So earnings season, the most significant takeaway might be the forward estimate cuts that we're seeing companies come out with. We're in the later stages of Q2 earnings season, and aggregate earnings for the S&P 500, they're still in negative territory when measured on a year-over-year basis, while forward estimates continue to slide lower. Major retailers are also yet to report. Now we're going to see that next week and the week after, but their guidance will be of particular interest given last week's escalation of tariffs on many consumer goods from China. So approximately 78% of S&P 500 companies had reported their Q2 results through Friday. A blended measure of actuals and estimates, as compiled by FactSet, currently sees Q2 earnings per share for the S&P 500 as posting a decline of 1.2% year over year versus a negative 2.6% decline last week. Now on sales growth of 4.1%, that's positive 3.9% last week. At the start of the earnings season, consensus estimates as compiled by FactSet look for Q2 earnings per share to decline by 3.3% on sales growth of positive 5.1%. Now when looking at winners and losers, there is some good news and some bad. Some of the more straightforward areas of pressure in Q2 could be temporary. That's good news. In the materials and energy sectors, lower commodity prices were a significant factor and an issue that may see some reversal, particularly for energy. Multinationals have also been hit hard due to the trade troubles. Now that's an issue that looks very likely to continue. Multinationals are dealing with slower growth outside the U.S., constraints on American brands in China, and the strong U.S. dollar. Thus, their earnings have materially underperformed those of domestically focused companies. But on the positive side, with 81% of its sector companies reported, the healthcare sector has posted strong earnings per share growth of 8% on very strong sales growth of 13.4%. The outlook, however, is not offering much encouragement. It's normal for next quarter earnings to decline during any given earnings release season, but recent trends have been worrisome. So for the final 2 quarters of 2019, the S&P 500 consensus estimates, again via FactSet, are currently at $85.59. This is down $3.07 since the beginning of April and down $4.90 since the year began. On an overall percentage basis, we're looking at about 5%. And estimates for 2020 have come down by a similar amount, or $9.46, as something to keep your eye out for. So there's a lot going on with earnings. We've got more reports coming, but keep your eye out for what's coming forward.
And Ameriprise Financial also supplied us with this information to share with you this morning. S&P futures pointing to a 1.5% drop for the broad market on increased uncertainty over the trade with China. And that is impacting a lot with the marketplace.
That is, since we've seen Trump start to talk about that last week, the market has been in a downward trend. And we'll have to see how far down it may go.
Yes. Global uncertainty has pushed the 10-year Treasury yield lower to 1.78%, while the 2-year yield dropped to 1.62%. Any comment on that, Paul?
Just global uncertainty, that's the key word there. As we know from previous shows, the market hates uncertainty.
Yep. Yes. Markets in Asia closure lower across the board with Hong Kong market is down 2.5%. Europe is trading lower. And the U.S. dollar is weaker versus the yen and euro, while gold is trading higher by 1%. WTI crude is down 1.5%. I love it because that means gas prices are going to reduce at the gas pump.
Potentially, yeah.
Hopefully. And to close with the year-to-date, S&P 500 is 18% year-to-date, a plus, I meant to say. Dow is 15% plus year-to-date, and a plus for NASDAQ, 21% year-to-date also. And anything else you want to add, Paul? I know you mentioned about uncertainty. We're at the peak of all this trade talk, tariff talk, with China having a big market upset. And I guess we'll just, like you said, we'll just have to see where it goes.
Have to wait. We're waiting to hear back from the Fed in September. We're going to hear more on the trade talks through September. So August could be one of those months that's in limbo, waiting for more information. And that does tend to cause volatility when you see stuff like that.
Okay, well, we're going to close on that note. We're going to ask you to stay with us. We'll be right back. Paul is going to have a interesting topic on your money. Stay with us. We'll see you right back. And we're back with your money. And this is an interesting topic, Paul. This is something that I really want to listen to. You should be thinking about and reading about how to tackle your next house project. And obviously, it's a financial issue.
It is. And a lot of times, people's homes are one of their biggest, if not their biggest investment.
Yes.
So with the real estate market as competitive as it is in various U.S. cities, more people are opting to stay in their current homes. Now, this decision frequently comes with the desire to take on additional house projects, which often impact your financial situation. So if you are considering upgrades and remodels, listen to what we're going to have to say today for several considerations on how to prioritize your housing projects.
And what you really need to do is pay attention as to how much money you're going to sink in renovation so that you can hopefully get an ROI on this.
Exactly right. So since the renovations require an investment, ideally you'd like to recoup what you put into the project, ROI, as you said, Ron, when it comes time to sell the house. This is no sure bet, regardless of any of the undertakings you take on. Many factors affect a home's value, including the state of the market that we're in, which can oftentimes be very volatile and can be different wherever you live. So we do recommend you ask professionals, what upgrades will make a difference in the area you live.
And you just covered what I was going to mention. It's so important that you do talk to a professional. There's some very specific upgrades that you put in your house. You want to make sure that it makes a difference on your pricing when you're selling.
It does. It's relatively easy to refresh a home with some new paint, but if the color may be off-putting to potential buyers, your efforts may be futile. So before starting any projects, consult with a trusted maybe realtor or appraisal to find out what projects may help or at least not hurt your ability to sell your home.
In another area that is something that people really ignore, there are problems with a house, whatever it might be, plumbing, electrical. If you want to sell your house and you want to get the best price for it, you must fix those problem areas if they exist.
Exactly. Do you have a tub that constantly leaks, or is a yard that needs a retaining wall or grass to be reseeded? Addressing persistent issues avoids more costly fixes. So should the problem worsen over time? And doing so can help avoid a delay in the home closing process when you decide to sell. The last thing you want to do as you're getting ready to move is a complete last-minute project that the buyer asks you to take care of as part of the contract.
And tackling items that will improve your lifestyle while you also potentially adding to your home's value at the same time.
Exactly. So if you have plans to move in the intern, tackle items that will improve your lifestyle while also potentially adding to the home's value. Finishing a basement, hiring a professional landscaper, redesigning a kitchen, or adding another bedroom are examples of projects that could increase your home's resale value, yet importantly, they also allow you to use better space for the lifestyle you want, whether it's adding a room to accommodate a new baby or making your layout better for entertaining. Keep in mind the first bullet point that we talked about, that you may not recoup the total cost of the project at the time of the sale.
And you should be actually upgrading areas of concern that really may matter most to you.
Exactly. Many people will put a lot into home improvements in the months before they plan to sell in order to make a house more marketable. Yet, if there are improvements that will upgrade your own enjoyment of the home in the years before you intend to sell, consider tackling those projects first. After all, this is your home, and there's no reason you shouldn't benefit from the improvements as well.
And you need to decide whether you're going to tackle these renovations all at one time or spread them over a period of time.
Exactly. Contractors often offer modest cost savings to address multiple upgrades because they can be efficient with various vendors or order materials in bulk. For example, if you choose to redo several bathrooms at once, doing so often requires a larger financial commitment up front and presents more ways to uncover additional expenses. Decide carefully how and when to prioritize projects and consider setting aside money specifically for your to-do list.
And the last thing that I want to bring up is accessibility, such as wheelchair-friendly type changes that you make to your home.
Exactly. So if you're growing older and hope to live in your house for years to come, you may want to focus on some different things like Ron mentioned. That accessibility and adapting your house to become more accessible is something that's going to be very important. Upgrades may include adding wheelchair-friendly doorways and floors or remodeling to make enough living space on one level. No matter the size of your renovation, wish list, or how long you intend to stay in your home, house projects have financial implications. Always consult with a financial advisor in your area for guidance on how to make improvement projects fit your budget and also fit your financial goals.
It's all well said. Paul, a viewer, have a question that maybe pertains closer to what their situation is. Could they contact you?
Absolutely. Feel free to reach out to me directly at 708-226-3412.
Okay, thank you again, Paul, for bringing this to the viewers. For Paul Munico with Ameriprise Financial, myself, Ron Jankowski with Channel 4 in Palos Heights, we wish you good investment day.